I use debt as money. Okay. So, but I only use debt to buy assets. A lot of people use debt to buy liabilities. So I drive a Ferrari. Guess what? It's paid off 100% because it's a liability. I drive a Rolls Royce. It's paid off 100% because it's a liability. Now, so I use debt as money and I don't save cash because in 1971, the dollar became debt. Tricky Dick Nixon took us off the gold standard. So at that point, I save gold. So all the money I make, if I buy something with debt, so that's $1.2 billion in debt, because if I go bust, the bank goes bust. Not my problem. You know what I mean? And all the cash I make is I convert to silver and gold. And pretty soon it got to be a big problem, which is why I own Bitcoin also, because I just don't trust the frickin' dollar. I don't trust the Fed. I don't trust the Treasury, and I don't trust Biden. You know what I mean? I just don't trust this guy. You want to trust him? Knock yourself out. But anyway, so I save gold and silver. Then it got to be a problem because over these, since 1971, 73, I've been buying gold and silver, you know, and it gets to be a problem. And then what happened in 1933, if you know history, is FDR confiscated gold. So can he do it again? Possibly. Not him, but, Biden could. So I don't keep my gold inside this country legally. I use the words legal. I hire attorneys and all that because I don't want to go to jail and dance to hula for some boy. You know what I mean? I'm not into this transsexual stuff. I don't want to go to jail and spend time with boys. So that's why I get my gold and silver outside this country legally. Everything is done legally. I hire the best accountants, the best attorneys. But I'm saying without you hitting on it, I don't save cash. I use debt. And when I use debt, I save gold and silver. I don't touch stocks. Well, I don't know if you just read Buffett's last report. He says what's happening, our CEOs are lying. Why would I trust a CEO which I don't trust them anyway? So just look at his last report. And he says our CEOs are lying. Another thing that's happening, just FYI, is the Fed is printing all this money, but also what happened is the FDIC, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, is now terrified there's going to be a run on the banks. In other words, people are this is 2023. They're so afraid that there's not enough money, they're going to start yanking the monies out of the banks. So at that point, watch what happens. Look at the stock market is crashing like a rock today. There's 3 basic asset classes. Just look at the facts. Don't listen to me. Stock market is going down, real estate's going down, and cash is going down. Just look at the facts. Don't listen to me. And so this here is a 1964 silver dollars, Kennedy on it. 1964, it was a guy named, Johnson, I think, took silver out of these coins here. So this little silver coin today is worth $10. I can go to any coin dealer and change it for $10. So F you, Buffett. Do you know what I mean? He's good at stocks. No, I mean, he's a very smart guy. He's a multi-billionaire, but he didn't invest his money. He invests your money. I don't need to trust Buffett. That's all I'm saying. I trust me. And if you don't trust you, give it to Buffett, because we're going to set up a foundation via some of the, there's all these vehicles with which you give your money to. So we won't pay any taxes at death either. So it's death tax. Middle class pays taxes. I don't pay taxes. So right now our money is stashed in, it's called the CRTs, Charitable Remainder Trusts. And when, I'm 10 years older than my wife, and when she passes, all of that will go to probably what's called the Rich Dad Foundation or something. So it'll go on for perpetuity. Like I said that earlier. We have a plan for our money all the way through, and our job is not to make sure the Internal Revenue Service doesn't get it.
Was there a reason why you decided not to have kids? Was that a conscious decision, or it just happened?
I'd be a terrible father. That was the main reason. I'm a U.S. Marine. I wouldn't want to have an SOB like me as a dad. So, that's the honest God truth, lad. I am. Both my dads were tough guys, and most kids can't take it. A bunch of snowflakes today. The thing with Bitcoin is this: it's like anything. It's not when you sell; it's when you buy it. My rich dad, your profit is made when you buy, not when you sell. I don't sell any of my properties. I sell nothing because then I have capital gains tax. So with Bitcoin, it went up to 20,000, and I watched it drop down to, I think, 1,000, let's say. At that point, it became a technical trade. There's fundamental investing and technical trading. When I saw that thing start climbing back up, I said, I watched it at 6. And I said, I think 6 is the number. So I backed up the truck on 6,000. So today I think Bitcoin's what, 20,000? Yeah, but I don't buy at 60. So anyway, I bought it at 6 and I bought a whole pile of it. Same as I buy gold all the time. I don't save dollars. I save gold, silver, Bitcoin, Ethereum. And I don't just say I like the stuff, but it seems to hold its value. And Buffett called Bitcoin rat droppings or something like that. But he's a stock guy. Grant Cardone buys apartment houses. You don't have to buy apartment houses. You can buy a bond, and bonds are going down right now. Do you know what I mean? You just got to be smart. I don't have bonds, by the way. But anyway, there's so many things you can buy. But the biggest question is, how smart are you with your money? And what does school teach you about money? Nothing. And you wonder why school teachers are broke? Because they don't know nothing. My whole family are school teachers. Good people, nice people, Marxist, but good people. I don't care if you're a Christian, a Jew, a Buddhist, or Israeli. I don't really care. Just show me the money. You can listen to Grant Cardone also. You can listen to me. You can listen to Dave Ramsey, who says live debt free. You got to choose your teacher.
Sure.
That's all I'm saying. Like when I was in Sunday school, I was like 8 or 9 years old, and the Sunday school, there was a young teacher in Hawaii. And she said, why were the 3 wise men wise? And I said, I raised my hand, it's about 8 or 9 years old. I said, because they were rich. And she goes, why do you say that? Because in church, where love of money is the root of all evil. She said, why do they say they're rich? I said, because they're rich. And she goes, why? So they had gold, frankincense, and myrrh. You gotta be rich to have that stuff. She shakes her head because this violates every one of her Christian values about the love of money is the root of all evil, right? She says, no, they weren't. That wasn't why they were rich. That's why they weren't wise. I said, so tell me why. It's one of the most valuable lessons my little Sunday school teacher taught me. She says, because they always sought the best teacher. And for them, it was Christ. For many of my family, it's Buddha. For the, Muslims, it's Abraham. For the Jews is Abraham. For the other guys, it's all this. So in real life, seek your teachers. If you listen to a school teacher about money, I'll pray for you tonight.
Are there any books out there, apart from yours, of course, that you really admire and have really changed your life?
That's a very good question because, again, I read those books and I didn't get much from it. I was a student of Buckminster Fuller, and he's the guy, my poor dad liked Fuller. And Fuller talked about mathematics. He says, how dare we lie to our kids? He says, our mathematical system is fake. And he says, there's no such thing as squares in the universe. And our whole mathematical system is based on square rooting and all that stuff. Squares don't exist. So I'm listening to this, and my poor dad was an academic type, said, this guy's Fuller's on it. He said, our math is wrong. And he was teaching math, poor dad. And our system is really based on triangles, which was, anyway, so when I started studying with Fuller, I was young. I didn't know what he was talking about. So I hitchhiked from New York. I was going to school in 67. And I went to Montreal Expo 67 in Canada. And Fuller had built the geodesic dome, which was a U.S. pavilion at the World's Fair in Montreal, Canada. I'm riding through this geodesic dome going, oh my God. So then what happened is after I got older and all this, Fuller was doing a seminar at outside of Lake Tahoe, and it was called The Future of Business. I went to listen to this guy, and holy mackerel, he blew my mind away. I started to listen to this guy, and ever since then, I kind of choose my own path, should I say. And so you got to find your teacher. So the book that Fuller wrote after he passed away was called The Grunch of Giants. Grunch stands for Gross Universal Cash Heist by R. Buckminster Fuller. And GRUNT stands for Gross Universal Cash Heist. It's how our wealth is stolen via our monetary system, our school system, and investment system. And I went, that's exactly what my rich dad was saying. So Vlad, Fuller and rich dad are about as polar opposite as you can get, but they said the same thing about money. So ever since then, I decided to do my own thinking. And that's why Buffett, no doubt he's a billionaire and all that. You and I cannot start insurance companies. I doubt we could. And Grant Cardone wants you to buy apartment houses with no money. So, I'm going, and Dave Ramsey wants you to live debt free. And I'm saying, just invest in your brain. Think for yourself. The biggest asset is between this year and this year. It's called your brain, but it's also your biggest liability if you don't feed it well. So anyway,
Yes.
I congratulate you for reading, listening to different people, reading so many different books, and making your decisions for yourself. And again, I'll just leave what Fuller said to my class back in the 80s. What does God want you to do? Go do it.
Small ebook, big impact, The Wealth Tree. The only 4 ways that will make you financially free forever. Download it here for free.